Hello everybody, welcome to iExamB's Legal Beat. This is Amrita, your law faculty here at iExamB. In this video today we are going to discuss the landmark judgments that have been passed by Honorable Supreme Court of India and various high courts in India from 1st to 15th of June. Supreme Court is currently on vacation, but there are some judgments, though the number of judgments is less comparatively. Vacation benches हैं, so कुछ judgments जिसमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा landmark law points discuss किए गए हैं that I have brought for you in this particular video and also of the high courts. And if you have missed the other videos of this series that I have started continuously every 15 days, then you can check the playlist at Legal B channel. But उसके लिए आपको पहले चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना होगा. Don't forget to press the bell icon and subscribe our YouTube channel, that is Legal B. Exclusively we try to bring such kind of exclusive content relating to law, dynamic content, also for exam preparation, strategic content, everything at Legal B. आपको अगर कोई भी examination से related doubts या queries हैं, you can write to us on hello@iexamb.com, also in the comment section of this video, and call on 920-552-4028 for any of the queries. Visit our website for checking all the details for the courses available. Landmark judgments that have been passed in these 15 days we will be discussing. June 1st to 15, 2023. ज़्यादा judgments नहीं है as compared to the regular sittings में जितने judgments होते हैं obviously, but कुछ ऐसे latest case law points हैं जो discuss करने worth हैं. And इस PPT को भी आप download करके रख सकते हैं for keeping a reference with you of all the important case laws. अगर आप judiciary exams के लिए prepare कर रहे हैं then also this will be very helpful for you. And अगर आप practice भी कर रहे हैं तो आपको latest judgments का knowledge होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Starting with the first one, Ghanshyam versus Yogendra Rathi. This is a judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, and this was actually arising out of an appeal that was filed by the defendant appellant. He was challenging the order of trial court under an eviction suit that was filed by the plaintiff against him. So basically ये civil matter है, eviction suit है, and the law point that has been discussed in this particular case is relating to ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट सेक्शन 53A. पार्ट परफॉर्मेंस का डॉक्ट्रिन के बारे में आपने सुना होगा. ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट लॉ पॉइंट है जो इस पर्टिकुलर केस में डिस्कस किया गया है. स्पेशली अगर आप जुडिशरी में हैं, जुडिशरी से रिलेटेड प्रैक्टिस, जुडिशरी से रिलेटेड एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हैं या फिर आप लॉ प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं तो आपके लिए ये जजमेंट काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होगा. आई वुड सजेस्ट एवरीबडी टू गो थ्रू द डिटेल्ड जजमेंट एज वेल. इसमें मैं आपको सिर्फ एक समरी देने वाली हूँ, एक ब्रीफ देने वाली हूँ. सो व्हाट द एपेक्स कोर्ट हैज़ हेल्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस, इट हैज़ अपहेल्ड द ऑर्डर ऑफ ट्रायल कोर्ट and dismissed the appeal that was filed before the Honorable Supreme Court by the defendant. And what were the contentions of the defendant? Basically, he was saying that he has parted with possession of suit property by putting plaintiff in possession of it under an agreement to sell. So agreement to sell की validity को basically अगर हम बात करें, so defendant said that agreement to sell तो completely transaction होता नहीं. It is not contract for sale. Agreement to sell, contract for sell, ये बहुत important concepts होते हैं. इसके बारे में भी आप clarity होनी चाहिए. So plaintiff in this way has come to acquire possessory title. This was the conclusion of the court. Court said that legally an agreement to sell may not be regarded as transaction of sale or a document that is transferring the property rights in an immovable property. But the prospective purchaser, having performed his part of the contract and lawfully in possession, acquiring possessory title, is liable to be protected in view of section 53A of the Transfer of Property Act. यानी कि अगर उसमें कोई prospective purchaser है so उसके rights protect होने बहुत ज़रूरी है. Even we cannot say that agreement to sell is a complete transaction of sale, even though we cannot say that. But the rights of a prospective purchaser need to be protected, and the possessory rights of prospective purchaser cannot be invaded by the transferor or any person who is claiming under him. So the defendant, who was actually the transferor, उसके द्वारा plaintiff के rights को affect नहीं किया जा सकता. This was the conclusion by Honorable Supreme Court of India, and I would recommend everybody to go through the details of the judgment for a better understanding. This was the main law point that I have told you. In summary manner, I have told you the crux. Coal India Limited and another versus Competition Commission of India and another. This is another very landmark judgment by the Honorable Supreme Court of India, which has been passed very recently on 15th of June. This particular judgment deals with what Competition Act 2002 एंड कंपटीशन कमीशन आजकल काफ़ी एक्टिवली काम तो कर रहा है, काफ़ी सारे जजमेंट्स भी दे रहा है. सो इन जजमेंट्स को चैलेंज भी किया जा रहा है. कोल इंडिया हैज़ चैलेंज द जजमेंट ऑफ कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया एंड हैज़ कम टू द ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑल्सो. इस पर्टिकुलर केस में उन्होंने ये क्लेम किया है दैट वी आर वर्किंग एज अ गवर्नमेंट बॉडी एंड वी आर वर्किंग अंडर द नेशनलाइजेशन एक्ट. आर्टिकल 39B जो है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, उसके अंडर हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसा कोल इंडिया का क्लेम है. आर्टिकल 39 इज अ डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. ये सब डिटेल्स आप चेकआउट कर लेना कि एक्चुअली उसके अंदर क्या है फॉर योर academic revision purpose I'm telling you. So the appellants have raised the contention. Appellants कौन है? Coal India. They have raised the contention that the Coal India is a monopoly that is created by a statute. So जब हम monopoly है तो हम पर competition commission act एक्शन नहीं ले सकता, कंपटीशन कमीशन एक्शन नहीं ले सकता फॉर अब्यूजिंग इट्स डोमिनेंट पोजीशन. अब्यूज ऑफ डोमिनेंट पोजीशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शन ऑफ कंपटीशन कमीशन, कंपटीशन एक्ट सेक्शन 4 उसकी बात कर रहा है. तो ये कह रहे हैं दैट हम पे ये एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. सो व्हाट द कोर्ट हैज सेड ऑन इट, कोर्ट हैज एक्चुअली डिसमिस्ड देयर अपील and held we would only clarify that it will be open to the appellant as the state monopoly to take up all contentions to demonstrate that there is no abuse of dominant position. They can justify themselves, be it differential pricing or decision to limit or restrict production. If it is a part of national policy or it is based on presidential directives also, the appellant raises a contention after bona fide following of the directives or policy themselves. It may be a matter which the Competition Commission of India will consider and decide whether there is abuse of dominant position or not. Even if it is working under Article 36, it is answering the description of state. There is a continuing duty to pay obedience to the directive principles. So this act cannot result in transforming the appellants into mere profit making engines. यानी कि abuse of dominant position basically इसका meaning यही है that ये applicable होगा. It's on the Competition Commission to decide. Let them decide that whether there is abuse of dominant position or not. हम ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते कि आप स्टेट के लिए काम कर रहे हैं तो आप अब्यूज ऑफ डोमिनेंट पोजीशन नहीं कर सकते. सो दिस इज अ वेरी लैंडमार्क जजमेंट अगेन. नेक्स्ट, किंग विक्टर CH Merak versus State of Meghalaya. This is also a very recent landmark judgment by the Meghalaya High Court. It has been related to what it is relating to an appeal that has been filed and actually eventually it has came to be dismissed. It is filed against Section 6 of the POCSO Act read with Section 376 of the IPC. Punishment हुई है appellant accused को rigorous imprisonment for 10 years and 40,000 rupees fine. So High Court has also upheld his conviction and has held that some remarkable observations about perjury which I want to mention in this particular video. Perjury is what? Giving false evidence before the court. So what court has mentioned here, in the light of appellant not asserting that the survivor had not come to the appellant's residence, यानी कि जो victim है, जो survivor है, वो appellant के residence पर आई ही नहीं है. She was a 4-year-old child basically, she is, and उसके साथ ये charges लगे गए हैं, accused पर punishment भी हुआ है. So the afterthought of this particular statement and the defense witnesses that such kind of scene has not actually taken place only, ये काफ़ी वेग कंटेंशन है. एंड अगर ट्रायल कोर्ट को ये समझ में आ रहा है दैट ट्रायल कोर्ट अपॉन दिस बिलीविंग द एविडेंस ऑफ एनी पर्सन ऑन कोजेंट ग्राउंड्स, यानी कि रीजनेबल ग्राउंड्स हैं विटनेसेस के स्टेटमेंट्स को डिसबिलीव करने के लिए, देन द कोर्ट्स मस्ट टेक स्टेप्स फॉर परजुरी. दिस वॉज द ऑब्जर्वेशन बाय मेघालय हाई कोर्ट. कन्विक्शन तो उसका अपहेल्ड हो ही गया है, but what observations court has made that it is the time that we need to take steps for perjury. Perjury is a punishable offense under IPC 193 of IPC. आप लोग पढ़ लीजिएगा उसके लिए punishment के लिए. So if somebody is giving false evidence and filing false evidence affidavits before the court and there is cogent reasons for that, then court should take action against it. Amruta Deepak Gohil versus Deepak Bhagwat Gohil and others. Another judgment by the Bombay High Court, and in this case the learned magistrate's judgment relating to maintenance and domestic violence has been taken into consideration, and that has been brought. Actually first it was taken to the sessions judge also, and then sessions judge decision has been appealed to the Bombay High Court. the Sessions Judge of Aurangabad has actually passed a judgment which has been quashed and set aside by the High Court of Bombay, and High Court of Bombay has actually confirmed the judgment of magistrate. So DV Act के अंडर मेंटेनेंस की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे, DV Act से रिलेटेड भी कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशंस हुए हैं यहाँ पे, that the courts have made the observation, the lower courts have made observations that it is a meager domestic violence, यानी कि domestic violence की डिग्री इस पर्टिकुलर केस में कम है. But the court has mentioned here, the High Court has mentioned here, that we cannot say that the degree of domestic violence, we cannot calculate that because the Act does not provide for that. Domestic violence is domestic violence. We are not going to go into the determination of degrees of domestic violence. And another important thing that the court has held over here is that relating to maintenance, it is the responsibility of the husband to maintain his wife unless she is able to maintain herself. Even if she is qualified but she is not able to secure employment, she is not having employment at that particular time, so it is the responsibility of the husband to maintain her, and according to that, quantum of maintenance will also be decided. So this is something which is the responsibility of the husband. So this is one very important law point that has been discussed over here. क्वालिफिकेशन से ज़्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट उसके हाथ में है या नहीं, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एंड ये बहुत मैटर करता है इन मेंटेनेंस केसेस. उज्ज्वला सुरेश चंद्र जाजू वर्सेस शशिकला उर्फ कलावती, शंकर लालजी बिहानी एंड अदर्स. Another landmark and recent judgment passed with the Bombay High Court. It's a revision application that has been decided by the Bombay High Court, and the High Court has actually rejected this application. But why I have taken it over here is relating to Order 7 Rule 11 of CPC, rejection of plaint. Very, very important topic this is. Applicant is the original defendant. He is original defendant number 8 in the suit. And what he has prayed for? He has prayed for declaring the suit barred by limitation and has prayed for rejection of plaint on the basis of limitation. But what was the contention here? The defendant is saying that plaintiff was aware that the will deed which is under challenge was actually made on 2011, which is a prior date, and the limitation, it's not within limitation. But what the plaintiff says that he has got knowledge of that particular document in 2019 and the suit has been filed in 2020. So he is well within limitation. So the court has taken into consideration all these contentions, and what court has held that in this particular case, if it is mentioned that he has got cognizance in 2019, we are not able to prove that whether he has got the cognizance in 2011 about the document he was knowing or not. From the time he has got knowledge of that fact, from that time we need to consider limitation over here. So this particular observation court has made over here, that here the suit is not barred by any law. Okay, if it is barred by limitation, then no doubt the suit will be rejected. But the trial court has rightly scrutinized the plaint over here and all the documents that have been joined along with plaint over here, and then after the careful scrutinization, the suit has been concluded to be filed in limitation. So the court has upheld this decision and has also taken reference of a citation of many citations, though one I am mentioning over here, T. Arivandanam, that is a Supreme Court case law on the point of Order 7 Rule 11, that has also been taken into consideration. And what Apex Court has held in this judgment, when the suit is barred by any law, the plaintiff cannot be allowed to circumvent that provisions by means of clever drafting and avoid mention of those circumstances by which the suit is barred by any law of limitation. So this is one important point which has been taken into consideration here. But इस केस में वैसा नहीं हुआ है, because ये prove नहीं हो पा रहा है that he has taken cognizance at a later stage and the document has been drawn earlier. So जो court के सामने है, जो proof है, scrutinizing that and scrutinizing the plaint carefully, if the conclusion is that it is well within limitation, then it will be considered as well within limitation, and therefore the Honorable High Court of Bombay has also upheld the decision of the trial court in this particular case. So these were some of the bunch of very important law points. I can say काफ़ी डिफरेंट एरियाज से जजमेंट हमने इस वीडियो में आज डिस्कस की है. अगर आपको कोई भी जजमेंट में कोई भी डाउट है या कोई प्रोविजन में डाउट है, कुछ समझ नहीं आया है, you can directly come to us in the comment section of this video and try to build the habit of reading judgments, reading the summaries of judgments, rather reading the judgments on your own from para number 1 to the last. तो आपकी खुद की रीडिंग हैबिट्स भी डेवलप होगी एंड योर लॉ पॉइंट्स विल ऑल्सो बिकम क्लियर डे बाय डे. And Legal B is there to help you anytime. Do check out the judgments playlist if you have not checked it out yet. And don't forget to subscribe to Legal B. Thank you, everybody.